More on how people are coping with the disaster. We're joined now by the Mayor of Wellington, Justin Lester. Many thanks for joining us, Justin. I guess there's still a lot of worry in Wellington. How are people coping, and are there worries that there could be more aftershocks?
Oh, look, we've had a number of aftershocks since the initial earthquake, which took place just after midnight this morning, New Zealand time, and it's 10 o'clock in the evening here in New Zealand now. In Wellington, we're used to earthquakes. They happen from time to time here in the city, but we're very resilient people, and they have been shocked by today, but I think they'll come through it okay.
Now, there were 2 earthquakes. Is there concern that there could be something else on the way? I mean, what are the scientists telling you?
The scientists tell us within the next 30 days, there's a 30% likelihood of having another significant earthquake. So we'll need to focus on that and concentrate on making sure we've got a resilient city. But we are opening up our CBD tomorrow. Today, the CBD was closed. Normally, tens of thousands of people would stream into Wellington City for work, but rail services were closed, and we need to do an assessment of the buildings around the CBD to making sure they've been seismically and structurally assessed. We're very confident now that the majority of CBD is safe. Some areas will be cordoned off, but we want to make sure the city's up and running again.
Can you describe some of the damage in Wellington? Because we heard from the Prime Minister, who said there'd been $2 billion worth of damage across the country. So what sort of damage has there been to infrastructure in Wellington?
Largely, it's been buildings related. So all of our infrastructure is in place. So our road corridors are fully functional, our water systems and sewage systems are functional, our tunnels have been checked and they're still in place and they're safe as well. The buildings that have been affected are largely on our waterfront in and around reclaimed land. Some buildings may not be able to be occupied for many weeks. For the most part, it's glass panes that have fallen out of buildings onto the roads, and again, it's a public hazard and a risk. But for the most part, most buildings have been safe.
Now, you said that scientists are concerned there could be another earthquake. How do you prepare for something like that?
Well, look, we prepare for it on a daily basis in Wellington. We do sit on 2 seismic fault lines, so we are aware of the fact that an earthquake could hit at any time. Having said that, I mean, we've got a very resilient people. We're aware of the risk. We make sure that we invest in our infrastructure. We've got very strong infrastructure, and that's been proven over the course of the last 24 hours as well, or since the earthquake occurred. We'll make sure we continue to do that, and we enhance our communities as well. We make sure we've got really strong communities so that people get to know each other. So in the event of a disaster like this, they can contact their neighbours. We make sure that there's ready access to water through stored water in local communities, and that's how we get through times like this.
I know people around coastlines across New Zealand were asked to evacuate, move away from the water. In Wellington, I mean, what has the procedure been? Are people still away from their homes, and will they be able to return home?
So many people self-evacuated last night, so in our low-lying coastal areas and around Lyell Bay, for example, Rongotai, parts of the Mirinar Peninsula. Many people did remove themselves from their homes in the middle of the night, and they went to safe tsunami areas. So they travelled upwards towards the hills in Mount Victoria, up into Maupuia Peninsula, some local areas here. So Wellingtonians, I want to congratulate them upon their good work around self-evacuation, and the hospitality as well of many other families who hosted the people who were seeking to get away from those low-lying areas. Fortunately for me and my family, we live up in the hills of Wellington, so it wasn't such an issue, but it was difficult for those moving young children in the middle of the night.
I'm sure. Justin, many thanks for joining us today. I appreciate your time, and all the best in dealing with the aftermath.